Hello, my name is Nolan Mabey, and today we're going to be going over the immigration data set and analyzing it within the Corgis data set using Python. So for the presentation today, the table of contents goes as follows. We're going to be going over the abstraction, the limitations to that abstraction, and defining the data structure. And then we're going to be asking questions and using visualizations to answer them, and then go over the social impacts. So in this project, the abstraction I will be utilizing is the immigration data set. The relevant properties we will be looking at are criminal and refugee status. Criminal is an integer stating the number of aliens removed from the U.S. for breaking the law. Refugee is a dictionary containing information about the status of refugees. So this is the data map that I created. It starts with a data dictionary that goes into a list of refugees, non-immigrant, admissions, enforcement, and legal permanent residences. Those are all dictionaries, and primarily today we're going to be focusing on refugees, which is a dictionary containing affirmative, which is the number of refugees admitted for that year, and then defensive asylum, which is what we're going to be honing in on, which is the number of refugees that successfully sought defensive asylum in the U.S. And then for enforcement, we're going to be going over, or we're going to be comparing non-criminal and criminal deportations, which is an integer value. So limitations to this data set are that the data is lumped into large groups like criminal or non-criminal, but doesn't explain if overstaying a visa is considered criminal. And overstaying a visa is the largest portion of illegal immigrants in the United States. The data also has less physical data stored in compared to other data sets. And then the data ranges from 2005 to 2014, so it's not as current as we would like it to be. The first question that we'll be going over is what percentage of aliens removed from the US are removed because they broke the law? And to answer this question, we're going to be utilizing a pie chart, and it's 60% is for non-criminal and 40% is for criminal, which is surprising because the sentiment in the media today is that the majority of deportations are due to criminal activity. So this kind of sheds more light on that. And then the second question we're going to be going over is, have more Syrians been granted defensive asylum from 2006 to 2014? So to answer this question, we're going to be using a line chart, and we can see that the numbers have gone up, but they are very small relative to other relative to other countries. So they only have 60 total in 2014, whereas China in 2014 had around like 4,000 or 5,000. And then what is the trend for overall asylum grants from 2006 to 2014? And in this slide, we can see on the left is the scatter of asylum grants. So there's one country that sticks out above the rest, which is China. So in the scattergram on the right, I removed China from this data set. And you can see that there's not exactly a trend. It's kind of staying the same throughout the years. The social impacts of this presentation are for possible stakeholders. We have people seeking asylum in the United States, so people can utilize this research and see whether or not, or see how likely they are to successfully seek asylum, as well as policymakers looking to gather empirical data about our immigration processes, and then voters on top of that trying to make a more informed decision about how they view U.S. immigration policies. And some conflicts between stakeholders are that many people have differing opinions about how we should handle immigration going forward. So there's internal conflict external conflict between two groups, specifically Democrats and Republicans. And then according to some politicians, defensive asylum seekers are more likely to have bad intentions. So having defensive asylum data compared to, or just having this defensive asylum data can lead to more informed decisions from those politicians. Thank you for listening to my presentation.